Imagine becoming rich beyond your wildest dreams, throwing the biggest parties in town, and having everyone admire you. Yet none of it makes you happy. This is the tragic story of Gatsby. The story begins in the summer of 1922, when a young man named Nick Carraway moves to New York in search of opportunity. Nick rents a small house in West Egg, a wealthy neighborhood filled with newly rich people. Right next door stands a massive mansion owned by the mysterious Jay Gatsby. Nobody seems to know much about Gatsby. Some people say he was a war hero, others claim he was a criminal. Some even believe he killed a man. But one thing is certain, every weekend, Gatsby throws extravagant parties. Hundreds of guests arrive, drink, dance, and celebrate all night long, many without ever meeting the host. Across the bay lives Nick's cousin, Daisy Buchanan, and her wealthy husband, Tom Buchanan. Tom comes from old money and carries himself with arrogance and entitlement. Although he is married to Daisy, he openly cheats on her with another woman named Myrtle Wilson. Myrtle is married to a struggling mechanic named George Wilson, who runs a garage in a bleak industrial area known as the Valley of Ashes. As Nick spends more time around these wealthy people, he begins to see the cracks beneath their glamorous lives.
One day, Nick receives an invitation to one of Gatsby's famous parties. Unlike everyone else, Nick is actually invited. When he arrives, the mansion is overflowing with music, laughter, and luxury. Guests gossip endlessly about Gatsby, but nobody seems to know the truth. Eventually, Nick meets Gatsby himself. To his surprise, Gatsby is polite, charming, and surprisingly humble. The two men quickly become friends. Soon, Gatsby reveals the real reason behind everything he has built. Years earlier, before he became rich, Gatsby had fallen deeply in love with Daisy. At the time, Gatsby was poor, while Daisy came from a wealthy family. Before Gatsby could return from serving in World War I, Daisy married Tom Buchanan, but Gatsby never stopped loving her. Everything he owns, his mansion, his fortune, even his famous parties, exists for one purpose. He hopes Daisy will notice him again. Gatsby asks Nick for a favor. Since Nick is Daisy's cousin, he wants him to arrange a reunion. At first, Daisy agrees to visit Nick's house without knowing Gatsby will be there. When Gatsby arrives, both he and Daisy are overwhelmed with emotion. Years of memories come rushing back. As they spend more time together, their old romance begins to reignite. Gatsby becomes convinced that he can recreate the past and win Daisy back completely. He believes she will leave Tom and start a new life with him. But reality is far more complicated. Tom begins to suspect what is happening. Although he has been unfaithful himself, he becomes furious at the thought of losing Daisy. One hot summer day, tensions finally explode. The group travels to New York City, where a confrontation takes place in a hotel. Gatsby demands that Daisy admit she never loved Tom, but Daisy hesitates. She admits that she once loved Gatsby, but she also loved Tom. For Gatsby, this is devastating. His dream depends on the idea that the past can be erased. But Daisy cannot give him the answer he wants. As they leave the city, Daisy drives Gatsby's car while Gatsby sits beside her. On the road, tragedy strikes. Myrtle Wilson runs into the street and is hit by the car. She dies instantly, terrified. Daisy keeps driving. Gatsby decides to take the blame to protect her. Meanwhile, George Wilson is consumed by grief. Tom manipulates him into believing Gatsby was both the driver and Myrtle's secret lover. Driven by anger and heartbreak, George tracks Gatsby down. The next day, Gatsby is relaxing by his swimming pool, still hoping Daisy will call and choose him. But the call never comes. Instead, George Wilson arrives. He shoots Gatsby and then takes his own life. Just like that, the dream Gatsby spent years building comes to a tragic end. What happens next is perhaps the saddest part of the story. During Gatsby's life, hundreds of people attended his parties. They ate his food, drank his champagne, and enjoyed his hospitality. But after his death, almost nobody comes to his funeral. The people who once filled his mansion disappear. Daisy and Tom leave town without even sending flowers. In the end, only Nick and a handful of others remain. Nick becomes disgusted by the selfishness and emptiness of the wealthy elite. He realizes Gatsby was flawed, but unlike the others, he had a dream worth believing in. Before leaving New York, Nick reflects on Gatsby's life. Gatsby spent years reaching toward an ideal future that always seemed just out of reach. No matter how hard he tried, he could never truly recapture the past. And yet, he never stopped believing he could. The story closes with one of literature's most famous ideas. Human beings keep striving toward their dreams, even when the past continues to pull them backward. Gatsby's tragedy wasn't that he lacked wealth. It was that he believed money could bring back a lost love and recreate a perfect past. In the end, he gained everything he thought he wanted, except the one thing he wanted most. And that is why The Great Gatsby remains one of the most powerful stories ever told.